listening to the Front Porch Show. Some shows are niche shows about specific topics. Others, shows about nothing. This show is the show about everything. On the Front Porch Show, we'll talk about current events, some news, a little bit of politics, along with a whole lot of life. Welcome to our Front Porch. Hour 2 of the Front Porch Show commences.
Yes, it does.
We are Jeffless. We are Jeffless tonight. And it's definitely different. Definitely different.
It is different.
Definitely.
There's
different.
not as many rambling monologues.
Wait. Wait, no, there's more. There's more.
No, Jeff always has amazingly thoughtful insight.
I was gonna say he normally has that almost legal mind point of view on things.
Oh yeah, no question. Jeff would have been an amazing lawyer, but then he would have hated life and he wouldn't want to do this show.
Right, exactly. So since he's gone, and since we know he loves airplanes so much, we are going to talk again about airplanes.
Oh, that's cold.
So this is technically segment 3 on airplanes, 2.5, I guess. You sent me this article earlier this week. This is out of gardenandgun.com.
Yes.
And I've heard this story before.
Which, by the way, Garden and Gun is one of the best online magazines going, and they actually may have a physical print version too. Now that I think about it.
Hopefully they'll give us some kickback for this.
But it is run by Southern ladies, emphasis on Southern, emphasis on ladies, and they have some great articles. They have things about wing shooting, they have things about outdoor stuff, just cultural type stuff. Interior decorating.
Sounds like our kind of publication.
It really is. So I would say they're definitely a sister publication to what we're trying to do here at the Front Porch Show.
So you sent me this article on the saga of the Tybee bomb.
Yep.
So give me a rundown. Tell me about this. What is
First
this
of
about?
all, I've never heard it called the Tybee bomb. I mean, I know where Tybee Island is. I don't know.
I've always heard of it referred to as the Savannah Broken Arrow. And
okay,
that's
so
what people have referred
works.
to me as.
Which works, right? So Broken Arrow being Air Force. I don't know if you can say it's a code because it's well known, but maybe a code phrase for a lost nuclear bomb,
which is the epitome of bad news.
Which that area had 2 bombs lost in the same decade.
Were they both airplanes? Wasn't it one was a sub?
No. One they were both lost out of aircraft. So
interesting.
Yeah, one was in South Carolina. I do not remember exactly where, but it was somewhere down in the Low Country or the Midlands, and then this one was lost in the water off Tybee Island.
So this was a B-47 Stratojet.
Which by the way, have you ever been to the Mighty 8th Air Force Museum?
I have
down
not.
there near Savannah.
I have not.
So off 95. It's close to Savannah. I think it's a little south of Savannah. There's the Mighty 8th Air Force Museum. It's a really nice museum. I went there right after it opened. I think in 2004. But they have a B-47 on display. It's the only one I've ever seen. I don't know how many there are left because apparently, as we'll learn in the article, it's a really unstable design, and something like 13% of them were lost in training and patrols.
So just to set the stage, this is a six-engined strategic bomber. The intent was to deliver nuclear payloads.
I guess you could say it was the United States' first nuclear bomber.
Right.
So,
right.
And it went into service in 1947, or when jet engine technology was still in its infancy.
Right.
And apparently not only were the engines not that great, but the airframe itself was not terribly stable.
So it had swept back wings. It's very sleek piece of machinery.
Yeah, it definitely looks like something from the 50s.
I mean, it's very classy.
Very retro looking.
2,000 of them were built. So what happened to this one over South Carolina?
So in 1958, there was a simulated bombing mission where the plane was flying on the coast back from Virginia, and there was a F-86 Sabre jet flying escort. And the pilot of the F-86, I don't know if he lost control or misjudged the distance, but he bumped into the B-47.
Oh man.
Yeah. So
he ended up losing control.
right. So the F-86 actually was not that bad off. The pilot ejected, but the guy who was flying the B-47, his name is Major Richardson. He didn't crash. He was able to land the aircraft relatively safely, but you didn't want to, because the bomb was so big and so heavy. It's a 7,000-pound bomb. It was, of course, it was internally suspended in the aircraft in the bomb bay.
What you do crash landing with 7,000 pounds hanging in the bomb bay?
I'll read the tagline because it's very evocative. So, if the bomber was brought up short on the uneven runway, which means basically if it ran into something or if it hit a hole in the runway or whatever, the payload would come loose and exit the aircraft like a bullet through a gun barrel, which means it would basically run through the front of the aircraft, through the cab area,
which is where the
cabin, where the engineer and the radio man and all that stuff were. And obviously that would be bad. In addition to the fact that you could have, hypothetically, again, this has never happened. Like obviously a nuclear device has never gone off accidentally, but you have that remote possibility of detonation. Which
technically the bomb wasn't armed, right?
There is some discussion on that point.
Interesting.
Yeah. So there's a.
Let's leave it as it shouldn't have been armed.
Right. Well, there's two stages to arming the bomb. So you had to have an explosive capsule plugged into the bomb, and then you would have to arm that capsule. And I think that can only be done manually. You couldn't do that from the cockpit.
Right.
So, and I don't remember if it was in this article because I'd have to page through it again, but I did read that the normal SOP for that type of bomb was if you were going to arm the bomb, you'd walk into the bomb bay, plug in the capsule manually, and then you could arm it that way. But with that size bomb, there was no room to maneuver in the bomb bay. So if it was going to go in, they would put it on the ground, even if they weren't supposed to.
Interesting.
So, but in any case, even without that capsule, there was another set of explosives in it, designed to mash the plutonium and I guess uranium together. I'm sorry, I'm fuzzy on this, and there's always a chance that could go off. And of course, again, remote chance that yes, you could have a nuclear bomb detonate in the water, which would be massively problematic. So
what ended up happening? I mean, they're flying along 38,000 feet. They get hit.
They jettison the bomb.
They dropped the bomb.
They dumped it in the ocean, in the water off Tybee Island. Okay, so here's where the story gets interesting, and I'm not going to give this away because this is actually one I really want you to read because we're all about letting y'all find out things for yourself, and we don't believe in #spoilers. But the writer of the article, who's Roger Pinckney, which by the way, that's a very old South Carolina name. Lots of Pinckneys wandering around down there in the Low Country. His family has personal history with the bomb, and one of his relatives supposedly caught it in a shrimp net at one point.
And do we have pictures?
There are no pictures. Family story. It's a great family story. So,
my grandfather dated the Queen of England. So, prove me wrong. Prove me wrong.
I mean, are you just?
I'm just making it up completely.
Anyways, if you go out and read the article, it's a great story. I would definitely read all the way in. You don't, obviously the author doesn't really know for sure, but the story to get there is fantastic.
Yeah, I think it's just an amazing story.
But long story short, one way or the other, unless like you said, the Russians managed to sneak in and find the bomb, that the bomb is still down there somewhere. How
could they not have found it though?
Because back then the technology for finding things on the ocean floor was not as advanced. I don't know.
I mean, how deep is it out there? I mean,
it's not that deep.
I was going to say.
I could take it. It varies. It varies depending on where you are in the water, but it's not terribly deep. But
I mean,
I
would just think you could take a Geiger counter and be like, "Hey, there it is."
Well, they tried that. They couldn't find it.
Interesting.
So either they were looking in the wrong place, or the Russians got it. One of the two. It always comes back to the Russians for us, doesn't it?
I'm just I'm thinking back to the shrimp boat story. I mean, 7,000-pound shrimp. That's an awful big shrimp, dude.
It's Georgia, man. It's Georgia.
My favorite word is the word.
We got an issue in America. Too many good docs are getting out of business. Too many OBGYNs aren't able to practice their love with women all across this country.
Back up, you creep.
And Bernie Sanders might run. Apparently, some folks really want to see a pot-smoking socialist in the White House. We could get a third Obama term after all.
Did you see this week on the interwebs that Bernie is toying with another run in 2020?
I can't even care. It's not that I don't care. I can't care. I don't have enough caring left to care about what Bernie Sanders does in 2 years. It just ain't there.
The problem is I see that pendulum swinging.
The left-right pendulum?
Yeah, the left-right pendulum.
You know what? I'll gladly talk about Bernie if you don't make me talk about Roseanne Barr.
It keeps swinging even farther and farther. Each man, it just kills me.
I don't think Bernie at this point, because the Trump presidency has been a comparative success, I don't think Bernie has anything like the chops needed to take Trump down. Nowhere close.
Probably not, but who does?
He is too old.
He's
too
doubt.
Too white. He's too white to do it. I would say it's going to be Kamala Harris.
Oh,
probably.
She's definitely, even though she claims she's not. She's a definite
no
possibility.
Question. She's angling. I mean, but
look, I gotta admit, I like her. I don't agree with a lot of what she says.
Are you sure you're not thinking about Tulsi Gabbard? I think you're thinking about Tulsi Gabbard.
Oh, I'm sorry, I am. That's right.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Kamala Harris is not the kind of person you could ever vote for.
You are right. Tulsi Gabbard.
Tulsi Gabbard. It depends on how hard I was pressed. Probably not against Trump, but I would have voted for Tulsi Gabbard over Jeb Bush, no question. Low energy Jeb.
Please clap. Please clap.
Please clap.
So wow. So this week
that's a tangent. That's a tangent. We're definitely gonna. You know what we should do? At some point, we should do a blow by blow of each of us from like January 2016 to November 2016, and how we came to grips with the Trump train.
Oh yeah.
And as people fell out of the primary.
I mean, look.
That would be a good segment. That would be a very good segment.
I don't want to run over your segment idea too fast and give too much information away. But I admittedly you don't want to relive 2016.
I
did not vote for Trump. I didn't vote for Trump. Now,
neither did I.
Now that's okay. We voted our conscience.
Who did Jeff vote for?
I don't remember. Probably I don't know.
Did Jeff vote for Gary Johnson?
I don't know.
I'm gonna text him and ask him.
You should.
These are things we need to know. These are things our audience needs to know.
So yeah, I voted for Gary Johnson. Gary Johnson was the Libertarian candidate. It was not without plugging my nose that I did so. There were just too many glaring inconsistencies with Trump, and frankly, I just didn't trust him.
I was gravely disappointed by Gary Johnson. Gravely disappointed doesn't even cover it. So much potential wasted.
I followed his candidacy, and it was ridiculously stupid.
Gary Johnson single-handedly squandered the libertarian moment.
When the annals, he and Bill Weld.
Well, but that ultimately rests on Gary Johnson because his stupid butt chose Bill Weld as a running mate. So he is responsible for everything that Bill Weld.
Had Gary Johnson chosen, and I know it's unpopular, had he chosen Peterson as his running mate.
Yeah, I know.
It would have been great.
But there's nothing about Bill Weld said this is a great candidate. And Bill Weld, I mean, by the end, wasn't he basically openly trying to get
Bill
Hillary
Weld,
Clinton
just for a little bit of history, Bill Weld was the Republican, what do they call it, lieutenant governor under Mitt Romney. If that gives any idea.
I thought he was from New Mexico.
No, not
that's
Gary Johnson.
Yes,
Bill
Gary
Weld.
Johnson.
Bill Weld. Okay. So if that doesn't give you an idea of the history of the way that
hashtag surprise.
The way that Johnson thought the party was going. So, anyways, yeah, I didn't vote. I voted for Johnson. It was a conscience issue for me.
Okay.
I couldn't not.
All right. Let me spin off that and get to what we want to talk about. So, as a result of all the crazy things that have happened in the last year and a half, since
and awesome things,
awesome
things too.
Yes. So, but in a bizarre twist of fate, I'm gonna describe it to fate because nothing else really fits. Roseanne Barr has become something of a no, not conservative. Sorry,
don't say conservative.
She's become an icon. Definitely not conservative. She's become something of an icon for the Trumpian right. So, and I'm going to stack
now.
She
ran for president as a Green Party candidate back years ago.
Yeah. So, folks, Roseanne Barr is not a conservative. She's not a Republican. I don't think she espouses any Republican viewpoints, except that via her show, she has telegraphed a not outright hatred of something of an empathy for Middle America,
which is refreshing,
which is lacking on the left and the right, but supposedly not in Trump land. So, but this resulted in a couple of, at least one complimentary tweet from the president. She has tweeted back to the president. She has started tweeting random conservative people on Twitter that are part of the Trump movement. Not all of whom are diehard Trump fans, but Twitter's like a bunch of subclicks, and I still need to do my rant about Twitter.
Yes, you do one of these days.
Maybe I'll wedge that into this one. But really, all Roseanne Barr really did was display a little bit of sympathy and willing to listen to the Trumpians. That's pretty much it. And for that, she was castigated endlessly.
Right. Everyone hated her for that.
And she also bought into the QAnon conspiracy theory, which is a whole different thing that I hope I never have to talk about on the radio because it's too convoluted.
She doesn't. The problem is she's always been controversial, Roseanne Barr.
Yeah. Right. And she's always been liberal.
Always slightly inflammatory and liberal.
She's a liberal Hollywood figure, and there's no getting around that. So, which, more power to her, and only since she started to make little furtive glances to the right has she come under flack. So, all right. So all that to say, you know who Valerie Jarrett is.
Valerie Jarrett worked in the Obama administration?
She did a lot of work in the Obama administration. I forget what her actual title was, but she worked very, very closely with the president, especially on foreign policy. I think her parents were part of the State Department. Which is why she was born in Iran, which is why people endlessly say that she was Iranian Muslim, and she's not an Iranian Muslim. She's not Iranian. Her parents were Americans. She's American. That's how it works. So Roseanne made a mean tweet, and literally that's all it is. It's like a mean, lame tweet. Apparently it was made under the influence of Ambien,
which the company who makes Ambien came out today and said that one of the side effects don't include racism.
Somebody, you know what? Okay, so let me actually read. See if I can find the stupid tweet. Where is the stupid tweet?
On Twitter? No, she deleted it. So it's not on Twitter.
Did she delete it?
Yeah.
All right. So she said that Valerie Jarrett was like the child of the Muslim Brotherhood and Planet of the Apes. Okay.
End quote.
I
just want to make sure that
Aaron's looking out for me here.
I just want to make sure that we save the show, Tombstone.
Oh wait, one of my people does have a grenade launcher, by the way.
Oh,
more on that.
More on that to come.
More on that to come. I'm telling him that I'm in dire need of a grenade launcher.
So Roseanne made this tweet that could have been misconstrued as racist.
Okay,
And
so there
see,
are
I have
there are two items we need to talk about. First of all, is the fact that I'm not going to make a moral judgment on this because I don't know. Anytime you reference monkeys or simians or what's another word for monkeys? Apes,
primates?
or anything, primates. If it's any way, I got to be really careful. If it's any way connected to a black person, then it is seen as a reference to the I guess the old
right early 1900s was
like during the eugenics and all this stuff when black people were said to be more closely related to apes, which of course is not true because we're all Homo sapiens. When I read it, first of all, it was a really lame tweet. It's exactly what someone would tweet if they were on Ambien and couldn't sleep and their cognitive function was not all there, because it wasn't funny, it wasn't witty. Which, I don't know, maybe Roseanne Barr has never been funny or witty. I really wouldn't know.
Some people would very much agree with that comment there.
But a lot of, right, and more power to him. I've never seen her show, so I have no idea if she's worth a darn or not. So I don't have a dog in that fight. But addressing Valerie Jarrett, I had no idea that Valerie Jarrett was considered to be black. Did you?
I know this. I can't say this is going to sound horrible, but it's true. I didn't know that.
Looking at Valerie Jarrett, and I've seen her a lot. Like, she looks like a little old white lady. So, and I think it's a little bit insane for us.
She is less tanned than Sean King.
Yeah, well, that's a whole.
And Sean King
isn't
an African American.
Oh, we don't actually know that. You may have to edit that out. So we don't believe he is. Oh. He does not appear to be an African American.
Right. But despite either way, what Roseanne said was stupid.
Right. And she did say after the fact, of course, my hunch is the same people calling her out as inherently racist are also not going to believe her when she says she didn't know that Valerie Jarrett is considered black or considers herself black.
Right.
So she's claiming ignorance, which in my opinion is plausible.
It's plausible, but if in that case, if she did make a racist comment, it's inexcusable. And
right.
In that case, ABC,
racist,
I think, did the right thing.
If it was racist, ABC absolutely did the right thing. If it wasn't racist, I don't think they did do the right thing. And the fact that we're in this kind of really weird liminal thing where we can't tell if someone is racist because we can't tell if the target of their ire is black or not. Folks, whatever you believe on this, please agree with me. We are in a really, really strange place culturally. Okay? We're in very strange waters. Well, again, I don't have a final judgment on this.
In the break, when you and I talked about this, we both kind of looked at each other and said, are we really going to do this? And the reason being is we were both a little bit nervous about broaching this topic because of the potential kickback of saying the wrong word.
Right.
Because if we accidentally said the wrong word, all of a sudden, we get kicked off the air.
I only say the best words, the very greatest.
Right, of course. So ABC kicked her off the air.
I don't know what's going on. I don't know if
the show's not renewed.
But again, most of the outrage to me seems from people who are not going to accept an apology of any stripe. They're not going to take an apology because what they really want is a scalp, because Roseanne Barr loosely affiliated herself with the Trump people.
Well, she represents that part of America that liberals hate.
To them, which is crazy because this is the same. And this, I mean, I don't know. Again, I don't know much about Roseanne Barr. I have seen the picture of her pulling the little Jewish gingerbread men out of the oven while she's wearing a Hitler costume. Like,
she's got issues,
kind of stuff. Right.
She's got issues.
It's not really a surprise that she would tweet something that doesn't make a whole heck of a lot of sense. Is insensitive. But she absolutely does not strike me as a person who's a closet racist. And that's actually not what she claimed, by the way. She didn't claim that the Ambien didn't make her racist or whatever. And then Ambien went and dunked on their own person who's taking their drugs, which I don't think is a good move for a drug company to take cheap shots at people who are taking their medications, especially since the known side effects of Ambien can be dangerous.
Right.
So depending on the patient. So that's not a secret.
Right. So,
Anyways, that's about all I've got to say. I honestly resent highly that you made me comment on this. So
I think we did a decent job. I think
we can only do what we can do.
We treaded softly, and we report the facts.
Yep.
Only the facts.
We tried.
It depends upon what the meaning of the word is.
Yeah.
Teach a child to read, and he or her will be able to pass a literacy test.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
And the fact that he is wrapping his arms around Putin while Putin is continuing to advance into Korea.
Wrong.
Have you ever been to Doraville, Georgia?
I bet a lot of our listeners actually have been through Doraville, even if they haven't been to Doraville.
Right, it's right along 85 and 285. I'm pretty sure I've been there. Isn't 285 the way that you get to isn't that the way you get to Six Flags?
If you were going from South Carolina, probably yes, or from anywhere north of there.
Yeah.
So
Doraville has hit the news this week. Doraville sounds like quite the little fascist stronghold, if you will.
So you've sent me an article from the Free Thought Project, and I have a love-hate relationship with the Free Thought Project.
As do I.
Because they tend to get a little cop bashy, don't they?
A
little bit conspiracy theory. I mean, the logo is someone's head, the top of their skull opening up, and little birds flying out. I mean, that just doesn't bode well. Does not bode well at all.
No, I agree with you, but I think the points to be made. I think if we present this the proper way,
it's quite good. I don't have an issue with this article.
I think if we present this the right way and use the facts,
provided that it's true.
Well, the lawsuit is
complete with cryptocurrency. Oh no, it's not a cryptocurrency. Never mind. It's money. I'm sorry. Never mind. I take it back. There's no crypto ads.
No, we've got quotes. We've got quotes from the actual lawsuit.
Okay.
So
let me read you this statistic first. So I'm quoting: even though Doraville has just over 8,000 residents, its municipal court sees. Actually, don't look at the article. I'm gonna give you a multiple choice test. So 8,000 residents. Do you think they see roughly 6,000 court cases a year, 10,000 court cases a year, 15,000 court cases a year, 20,000 court cases a year?
8,000 residents?
Yep.
6 seems very high. So I'm going to go with 6.
You would be correct. The correct answer is over double that at 15,000.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
8,000 residents? And
I have
16,000 court cases?
15
15,000
court
number. Cases?
Yeah, so my hunch is...
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, my hunch is that the city is basically being run for profit. And probably a lot of that is due to traffic tickets because they do sit right at that 285 on the perimeter in 85.
It says here that oh my goodness, the municipal court sees 15,000 cases a year, and it typically brings in revenue in excess of $3 million. $1 million from traffic fines alone.
Mm-hmm.
What's city
1 million divided by 5,000.
The city criminalizes violators of its city code with misdemeanors, a fine of $1,000, and the potential of spending a year in jail.
By the way, average traffic ticket is $200. I could have done that in my head if I thought about it, but I didn't. I cheated.
according to this article, average payment per citizen in town is what, $900?
That's
$900 per person per year
per citizen, which
per
means
citizen. Yes.
Who are they dinging? And this is that traffic tickets or is that?
I think that's everything.
46. So yeah, that's not citizens paying that $900 though. That's traffic tickets, I'm sure.
So they're not just pulling people over there. They are issuing this 25-year-old. Now this is according to her lawsuit, which is in federal court. 25-year-old resident Hilda Brucker of Doraville says she was placed on criminal probation for a rotted wood on house, chipping paint on fascia boards, high weeds in backyard, and ivy and vines growing on her house, and her driveway in a state of disrepair.
Disrepair. Whatever shall we do? So basically what we have is a city that's being run like an HOA with a police department.
Oh my goodness.
Isn't that basically it though?
Yes.
Here's the worst part.
Another homeowner stacked his wood wrong.
What will we do when the citizens stack their wood wrong?
It must be cut to 4 foot by 4 foot by 8 foot pile dimensions. The city,
here's
the
best
code.
Part. Here's the best part. When residents cannot pay, their assets are confiscated and sold at auction by way of civil asset forfeiture. Meaning, if you can't pay to keep your house up, they will take your house.
We have a local. I can't say local. It's a couple hours away from me. Sheriff's Department that is funded mainly on civil asset forfeiture.
Right, and that's unfortunately really common, especially in smaller jurisdictions.
They are known. We've got a main highway, Highway 80, rolling through my state and Iowa, so Nebraska and Iowa, and they will pull people over. And if you don't have a reason for the money you have, it goes into quote unquote holding.
Yep.
And if it's not claimed and you can't come up with a good reason that you had that money, it gets taken.
So I think what they're asking for in the lawsuit is eminently reasonable. They're asking for a monetary fine of $1,
which you have to do.
Right. And if they win in court, Doraville will have to readjust its budget not to include code violations, criminal citations, fines, and traffic tickets.
See, I think that's the crux of it right there.
That may not solve the problem, though, because just because they don't include it in the budget doesn't mean they're still not going to go do it and then still keep people on staff or either on the city police department or whatever other department. And it's really just like I said, it's basically a city being run for profit. I may live to regret this language, but at the point of a gun, really, because they're using law enforcement to generate the revenue. And the crazy thing is, what cop really, like you said, you use the word revenuer. It's like, what cop really wants to be a revenuer to support that kind of foolishness? Like, it's a terrible waste of your time.
Unless you're a real jerk.
Bad guys. Cops want to catch bad guys. Good cops want to catch bad guys. So why would you let yourself be abused in the service of a for-profit city government? Anyways.
Okay, so we're talking about codes. We're talking about city codes. We're talking about crazy stuff.
Yes.
At your house. Let's talk about.
I don't have an HOA. I live in a subdivision,
but
I don't
beautiful.
have an HOA, which is really nice. Yeah,
absolutely beautiful. I refuse to ever live in an HOA. I've said I won't, and I can promise you I never will. Even if I have to commute, hours to my job, I will not do it. So you don't live under anything crazy like that. You live, I guess, under, is it city government, county government?
I live in the county.
So you live in the county. Same with me. Except I live slightly more rural than you, I guess. And so you have this problem. You're a ham.
I am a ham radio
amateur
operator.
Ham radio operator. I'm still working on getting my technician test done,
which I'm sure you'll get there.
A couple months. I
have faith in you.
I really just need to schedule the test and get it done.
That's
But
what you should do, because it's not going to be nearly as hard as you think. You're going to walk in there and crush it, and you're going to be like, oh my goodness, I waited this long to do it.
so you posted an amazing picture on
Yeah.
Facebook of a tree 100 some. Is
I
it
think
really
it's about
100 foot?
I think it's about 100 feet tall. It might be a little more.
Man,
I really need to break out the trigonometry, but I don't have an easy way to measure from the base.
the shadows,
So-
man. Use the shadows. Remember
I-
that one?
I don't think it's ever. There's never really a good time.
No.
No, because everything's in the wrong place to get a good shadow because there's so
Bummer.
much vegetation. 'Cause I live in a really wooded area.
All right.
So
I was
anyways,
trying.
I've got to figure out a way to get a half-wave J-pole antenna up in this tree, and I'm trying to figure out a way to do it.
So which
So-
J-pole antenna? It's essentially a wire, right? That you're
Yeah,
seeking to launch up this tree.
All it is a wire, and you can actually buy the wire in. They call it ladder line, and it's like trying to think how to describe it. It's like a little plastic ladder. It's about an inch wide, and you can cut it off and then join the two pieces, and it makes a what they call a half. You can do a full wave, but it's a half wave antenna, so it's about a meter. It's about a meter long, all told, 3 feet.
Interesting.
So
So you're seeking to put this antenna up in the tree, but it's only going to be a meter long.
I want to put it in the tree because I'm trying to get to where I can talk to my brother, and my brother lives about 8 miles away. So, and he lives down in a hole. So I'm trying to get it high enough where I can talk to him without using a repeater.
Interesting.
And I actually don't have to get it that high. Like right now, I can get it up about 10 meters. I can get it about, let's see. I can get it up about 25 feet.
25 feet.
So if I can get it up to 50 feet, I'll be home free.
So
But
we are
50 feet's pretty
currently
high.
soliciting listener ideas of how to
Yeah.
launch this thing up into the tree. And
So
we had one who suggested a grenade launcher.
Yeah, one of my friends suggested using a grenade launcher, which is handy because one of my friends locally does have a grenade launcher.
But is that the
But-
best idea in a residential community?
How is that not the best idea? I mean, it would take a little experimentation because you don't want to launch it into the stratosphere, but no,
Right.
But we do have one, but I don't know if it'd be legal to use it for that because there's regulations on what you can actually shoot in them. Yeah,
So your other idea was a bow and arrow, a compound bow.
I think the bow and arrow or a slingshot would be the best suggestion. So what I will probably do is get a big fishing sinker, lead weight, tie it off to a fishing pole, spool it out, and put the lead in the slingshot and try and shoot it up over the branch. Then I can just pull it.
Nice.
up.
I like that idea. Slingshot's a great idea.
Yeah, I honestly though it's so high, I don't know if a slingshot will get there. I think I'm going.
But if your weight's heavy enough, it should, right?
Well, it has to be. The weight has to be heavy enough to get up there. Sorry, light enough to get up there and heavy enough to fall back down once it drapes over the tree.
Right. Man, that's
So-
going to be interesting. So, guys, ladies, if you have any suggestions on how to help Tombstone get this wire up in his tree, drop us a line drop us a line at our Facebook page or Tombstone at thefrontporchshow.com. We'd love your suggestions. We've got to head out, man. We're way over this segment. We have
right.
we have
Onwards and
talked.
upwards. We have our Florida person segment coming up, right?
Yes.
It's our favorite.
Yes, we do.
She said, oh man, the building is on fire. I said, no, what? I got my 3 kids and we bounced out. We ain't gonna be in no fire, not today.
The fact that they purchased the machine meant somebody had to make the machine. And so when somebody makes a machine, it means there's jobs at the machine-making place.
But glad to get out of here with a win. This is a tough place to do it. And, once in a while, a pirate can beat a soldier,
I have no idea what he was saying.
I'm kind of curious about the context on that.
I think it was 2 teams. He was talking about a Army, Navy or something game versus someone else. College. Yeah. soldier can beat a pirate or something.
Who knows?
Good old
we
Mike
probably
Leach.
we should probably know what our intro clips are about, and probably make our jokes better.
But it's Mike Leach, so you just don't know. I mean, he head coach up in, boy, is it Washington State?
Oh, this is the guy we talked about before, where he talked about the fat girlfriends on the team for the team's players.
Yes,
is that the guy?
Yes.
Oh man. Oh goodness.
Yes.
There's literally no telling.
The man is full of gold, absolutely full of gold, and he just loves talking to the audience. He loves talking to the reporters. So
okay, speaking of crazy things, have you heard of this political documentary that HBO's put out called The Final Year?
No, I have not. Did you hear about the political documentary that was put out by Mike Judge called Idiocracy? Anyway, sorry. Continue.
That was not a good response. So, again, I did not vote for Trump, but I love witnessing Trump derangement syndrome.
Hey,
and,
look, I'm on board. Make America great again.
Anyways, there's a fantastic. So the final year is about the Hillary/Obama team campaigning in the final year in the election year. And at the end, I'm gonna send it to you. Will you be able to play it if I send it to you? Is that allowed?
I may be able to. We haven't previewed this, so
it's not racy or anything. It's just I just want to make sure we got the copyright thing squared away. But so Ben Rhodes is literally speechless, and this is the hilarious end of the documentary after he's watched the Trump victory spool across the screen at the Hillary victory party.
Okay.
And
is there audio to go with it?
There's audio. You can pause recording, get it queued up if you need to.
No, we're good. We're good.
Okay.
We do this live. Is there any commercial music in it? Okay. So this is a picture of them.
I just came outside to try to process all this.
He's smiling at the camera.
A lot to process.
He's kind of frowning, looking into
awkward
space.
Smile.
I can't even.
Sounds like you.
No, keep watching.
I can't even.
I can't.
No. This is painfully awkward just watching this.
Yes.
It's
one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
Major secondhand embarrassment here.
I can't put it into words. I don't know what the words are.
Oh my word. Wow.
Yeah. And that clip's a minute long and he only says like 12 words.
I can't even.
Including
know.
repeats. Yeah.
Wow. Oh, man.
I had pretty much that same reaction when you sent me the video that we're about to talk about.
Right. So you got to see the video.
How's that for a whiplash segment?
Oh, wow.
I'm getting better at this.
You are. You really are. Florida, guys. Florida. We could not end an episode without talking about Florida.
As I said, I mostly resent you're even making me talk about this. It is so nasty.
We could not end this segment without talking about Florida. And so
we're gonna make this short and sweet. There's a video on the internet, which is where all videos live. It's a video of a lady sitting in the kiddie end of the pool.
In Florida, somewhere in Florida. We don't know the pool, thankfully.
She looks like 10 pounds of sugar in a 5-pound sack, bless her heart. And
oh my word.
She's shaving her legs
Tombstone
with
at
the
frontporchshow.com. Tombstone
my wife is making such a face at me.
Oh, I bet she is.
So anyways, yeah, she's just sitting there in the kiddie pool shaving her legs.
Oh my goodness!
So,
and she dipped. Oh,
why are we even talking about this?
She washes off the razor in the water. Oh, that's nasty, man.
We gotta have a palate cleanser after that.
We have nothing else to talk about.
No,
we're done.
We gotta come up with something.
I
sent you something earlier. Palo Alto. We need to talk about the Palo Alto communist.
Oh yeah.
This is a much better topic to end the show on.
I lost the article. Tombstone.
You're fired. You are fired.
I know. I can't get it back. So summarize this guy for me.
I'll send it to you.
So, guy from Florida. I know this is a guy from Florida.
It's in the appear in window. You should have it.
Oh. See, yet again, you dropped the name. We need sponsorships from these people, dude.
Yes. We use appear in quite a bit, and it's a great piece of software. It does exactly what we need to do. We can all see each other's happy, smiling faces while we're talking. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing.
Really, really fast article from The Atlantic. It's hilarious in its craziness and its weirdness. This is a guy. He's 28 years old. He emigrated from Florida to California, and this is really interesting. So it says he'd grown up queer in a town where he believed everyone looked the same, where people referred to the non-Christian woman in the neighborhood as quote the Jew end quote. Where the khaki pants and polo shirts recently co-opted by white supremacists were an unofficial uniform. Dude,
this is an amazing article already.
Dude, there is so much to unpack in that. I don't even know where to start.
Oh my word.
First of all, I don't believe that they referred to one person as the Jew because this is Florida. Am I allowed to say that? Are you going to make me re-record again? But
it's quote.
It's quote, right. That's what I'm saying. But I'm saying it's Florida. Like, I mean, how many Jews live in Florida? Is it a small number? No, it is not. People referred to this one particular person who may or may not have been Jewish. It doesn't even say if she was Jewish as the Jew. And I love the part where they talk about khaki pants and polo shirts, probably because a bunch of boomers live there, and that's what boomers wear when they live in Florida.
Right. My dad works for me. That's what he wears. That's his uniform.
I can't stand that the article is trying to subvert the boomer uniform into a white supremacist uniform, which there are some white supremacists that wear khaki pants and tennis shoes. They look like junior hires. There are other white supremacists that wear jack boots and black BDUs. Just, it depends on the flavor.
Oh my word. You are in such rare form on this article.
Anyways, I can't stand white supremacists, but I know what the uniforms look like. You got to know your enemy. Anyways.
That is true. That is very true. So he moves to California.
So he goes to Palo Alto. He was super stoked about moving to Palo Alto because there's all these wealthy liberals there. And he actually got himself fired from his church.
So he went to seminary.
Yes.
At the
I have to give him credit. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Progressive Claremont School of Theology in Southern California. He got a job as a pastor in Palo Alto, one of the wealthiest communities in the country. Are you familiar
with that school?
I am not, but it says in here it's progressive school of theology.
I'll take the Atlantic's word for it. If they say it's progressive, it probably is.
So right. Apparently, Palo Alto median family income is $163,000. The median home price is $3 million.
Yep.
Good
Not cheap.
Grief.
Not cheap at all.
So he settled into a historic church in a neighborhood that's also the home to Google co-founder Larry Page and Laureen Powell Jobs, who founded the Emerson Collective, who owns a majority stake in the Atlantic.
They disclosed that in the article?
They did disclose that in the article. Props to them.
That was good of them.
Props to them. So Stephen's job was to get young people involved in a church that skewed older. And so he created a chapter of the Food Not Bombs Meal Share Group, planted a Black Lives Matter flag in the church's front yard, which was promptly stolen.
I'm trying to figure out who would have stolen.
And set about preaching what he believed, that to truly help eradicate inequality, people need to rethink capitalism. That, I think, is the crux of the entire article right there.
Right. He's not the only person in Palo Alto that thinks that.
No, there's many people who think that. So he's in decent company for the most part.
But the Palo Altans did not appreciate this.
No, they did not.
So, here's a great pull quote from the Reverend. Why do we worship a homeless man on Sunday and then worship everyone with Rolexes every other day of the week? Which I have to add is a perfectly legitimate question to ask.
It's an interesting question, but
I don't agree with where he ended up. The foxes have holes, but not the Son of Man. So,
Okay.
And then he went on a tweet storm. I'm telling you, dude, more interesting things happen on Twitter these days. And again, I resent most of what happens on Twitter because it's so crazy. And can I say stupid? Are we allowed to say stupid? It's stupid.
Stupid. It's stupid.
It's stupid. So, and he made, I don't even want to read this out loud because it's so, he made a scatological reference in one of his tweets. But then he says this: any church that's not explicitly anti-capitalist isn't a church, it's a social club. So then he resigned.
Which, okay, to his point.
But it doesn't say if he was forced out, though. It just says he resigned. So I don't know if he resigned like concurrently as part of his protest or...
To his point, many churches are social clubs, but it doesn't stem from being pro-capitalist. And
no,
yeah. I mean, you know, I don't know. This guy.
But this really boils down to the fact that the church is not intended as an organ of economic management, right?
Right.
Like the church's job is not to tell you what to do. Well, I shouldn't say that. To a degree, it is to tell you what to do with your money. Because you're supposed to give to the poor. You're supposed to give to the church, right?
Right.
But in terms of dismantling entire economic systems,
that's really not its job.
The church was never designed to do that.
Churches were not necessarily intended to ever be the basis for governmental change or economic change.
Exactly.
It was supposed to be personal change, which then would eventually boil down to governmental and
right. In an Orthodox reading of the New Testament, you would see that, you know, Jesus' anti-establishmentarianism extends to theology and his interactions with the Pharisees and the Sadducees and, to a degree, the Romans. And then Paul tended to cause chaos wherever he went, but it wasn't as a result of actively trying to tear down the established
It wasn't due to political discourse. It was due to sharing the gospel.
Right, which is a conversation I think that American conservatives need to have at some point as well.
Without a doubt.
Because we're very much in love with our revolutionary fantasies in the United States. Some of us, anyways.
Interesting thought.
I don't know if Jesus would agree with us.
I don't know.
So, but anyways, we'll post that up. It's a really good read.
Yeah, we'll definitely throw this article in the show notes.
And again, it's just the reason I talk about this stuff is just kind of a microcosm of what's going on in the country. You've got theology and ideology that are mixing and mingling in really weird ways. And Christianity, like, you know, for a long time, well, I shouldn't say for a long time, like church attendance is still way down, but theology and the church continues to impact politics and culture in ways that you wouldn't have expected even like 7-8 years ago.
Right.
So we kind of keep tabs on that here at the Front Porch Show because we like talking about
relevant.
Religion is interesting and relevant. That's exactly right.
It's absolutely relevant to where we're at today. So, wow, we have
take us out.
We have squandered another 2 hours of our listeners' lives.
It was an excellent 2 hours.
Enriched. I want to say enriched.
I feel enriched.
So make sure you check out the website for show notes. Also check out the Facebook page. If you haven't signed up for the giveaway, like and comment. Like and comment. I can't say that enough times. Like and comment, and you will be able to be entered into that giveaway. Next week we should have Jeff back with us, but until then, it's Tombstone and I blessing you with our beautiful voices.
Oh my.